It feels like almost every single year there's a brand new competitive video game that comes out and completely takes over the world, and everyone is obsessed with it for anywhere from a few months or even a whole year. A lot of these games get incredibly lucky if they get to be popular for more than 6 months, and some of them actually maintain their success. They stay popular for much longer than that, and they become global icons. Just because you're a world-renowned known brand doesn't necessarily mean you have the respect of people in the gaming industry. I want to look at 2 games that have completely destroyed their fan bases from the inside out, and making sure there was nothing of them left, building a new fan base in their place that, yes, did maintain their success, but did not actually maintain their respect. And those games are, of course, Fortnite and Overwatch. No fake outs like we had in the Apex Legends video, don't worry. It might seem odd to compare these 2 games' fan bases. Both of their fan bases started out completely differently, and I would say even now they're both still pretty different in terms of who plays them. But the one thing that is absolutely the same is the way that Blizzard, the developer of Overwatch, and Epic Games, developer of Fortnite, has decided to handle these games. They have treated them almost pretty much in the exact same way, and they pretty much both ended up with the exact same result. A lot of you might make the argument that one of the games was never even respected enough to begin with, and you also might make the other argument that one of the games doesn't even have an alive fan base at all at the moment. I see where both of these points are coming from, but I want to specify. This isn't a video about, these games being dead or anything. These games are still alive in ways, but it's more about how the people who used to love them and supported it when they were at the bottom, and had to, rise to the top and everything, all of those people, almost all of them have completely went away now, and there's really nothing left of a true, respectful audience. I don't really know how to talk about these games separately, so I'm going to talk about them kind of together, but let's start with Fortnite. Like I said earlier, a lot of people have said that Fortnite is not even really a game that was respected to begin with. Like, when it first came out, you had people immediately taking a big, giant poop on it, because, well, it was mostly a kid-friendly game. And yes, it might have seemed like that way on the exterior, but on the inside, it actually had a very complex gameplay style. The building mechanic in Fortnite was honestly the most interesting thing that we've seen in games in years, and it was so fun and addictive to use it and try and get better at it. I mean, it's a genius idea. You don't have cover, build your own, but you can also turn that into a way to progress your attack on another player. It was ingenious. But besides that, Fortnite didn't really have too many complicated mechanics. Yeah, there was some quirky things about it. I mean, the fact that it was a third-person shooter was definitely something that made it unique. And also the fact that it brought apart a lot of items that you didn't really see many Battle Royale games use. That was the main appeal of Fortnite, was its quirky design, characters, and, interesting but balanced items and the building mechanic. Now, what if you got rid of all those things? What if you got rid of all those things? It wouldn't make a lot of sense. But what if you got rid of all those things? Yeah, what if you got rid of all those things? Huh? So, yeah, I mean, you know how the story goes by this point. Fortnite has basically become a sandbox Roblox battle royale, pretty much. They have added multiple items from a magical sword, a jetpack, and Star Wars blaster, the fishing rod, what is any of this stuff? Fortnite would also keep changing the maps, removing and adding a location just for fun, no reason. We'd also get things like the mech suit and then the movable ball, the hamster ball. What? We got cars in this game as what the hell? If you showed anyone who was playing this game back in Season 2 what this game would be like now, they would have immediately uninstalled, knowing that, yeah, investing time into this game isn't necessarily going to be a great idea. People never understand that less is more. All of these developers have the ideology that more is more. More characters, more abilities, more items. Fortnite had an incredibly strong foundation, and all they had to do was build on it, and they just couldn't do that, and they slowly destroyed it over time. The main reason they did this was to appeal to their casual audience of mostly 7-year-old little kids and people who just don't really play video games all that seriously to begin with, but are mostly just playing Fortnite because it does happen to be something that is very popular. Epic Games' philosophy towards Fortnite is that it is a game for everyone and anyone should have a chance to win at it. And if you're a professional player, they have an outlet for you to do so. I have respected Epic Games for giving people who are actual professional players a really good way to play consistently and efficiently, but at the end of the day, when you've made the game into this weird, mismatch of like MMO items and frickin' just straight up Borderlands weapons, it's just not really something that a lot of people respect, especially when there are much better esport alternatives. But made them a lot of money. Fortnite is still making them a lot of money. They have partnered up with all of these huge companies like Marvel and DC. They have been making a ridiculous amount of money just off of those alone. So yeah, whatever they've been doing has been working for them. I can't sit here and pretend that I don't understand why they did it, but at the end of the day, there will become a point where Fortnite was just remembered as that game that used to be a really engaging and fun experience and turned into just Roblox with guns. Almost all the big content creators that used to play it that you knew of don't touch it anymore, and for very good reason. Speaking of another game, the reason I didn't talk about Overwatch first is because I feel like Overwatch has easily been the game that's been more talked about in this regard. Everyone has talked about how Overwatch is a dead game, and simple character additions happen to ruin it, like the introduction of characters like Hammond or Brigitte. I don't necessarily think that those things are true. I think the main core integral problem with Overwatch's demise was exactly the same as what happened to Fortnite. Blizzard would have a good game on their hands and decide, this niche turret class that is only supposed to be picked by a select few amount of people and not really supposed to be seen in every single match when you really think about it, isn't really, they don't really have the win rate that we need them to have. So we have to completely rework their kit. And they started just doing that to almost every character. If you look at just about every character in the game, almost all of them have been completely reworked in one way or another. Now, you might say to yourself, well, isn't that cool that they can understand that certain characters are underpowered and change them to be something you would want to play more and actually a lot more useful in a competitive environment? Yes, they did this once or twice. The only really good example I can think of is Torbjorn. I think the changes they made to Tor were fine. He's the only character that I think had good changes done to them. But they would keep adding new characters, and suddenly these new characters would have really cool abilities that would make other characters that had similar abilities seem less usable in hindsight. Yeah, you used to be the best at flying around and stuff, but you're not anymore. You used to be the best at having the big shield and, protecting your team, but, well, you're not anymore. This is obviously what we like to call power creep, but I think it even goes further beyond that. Blizzard's attitude towards the Overwatch community in general has always just kind of rubbed people the wrong way. With the way they've treated certain players in the community, and also just the way that they've treated the Overwatch League and esports in general, it always kind of felt like Blizzard really only cared about being the biggest, most mainstream video game on the planet, and I would say for a little while they were that popular. But of course, as time has gone on with a stupid buff and a stupid nerf every single patch, and waiting months and months and months time on time again for actual new content to come out, it's become quite of it's an abusive relationship, pretty much. I know what you're gonna say. Did you just complain that we had to wait long for content, but then you're complaining that they ended up changing the game? What I mean by new content is I wanted a new character to come out and have it be polished, and I'm fine waiting for that if it actually comes out and it is done, or just a new game mode, a new map, just anything like that. I mean, that's the whole reason they added the Overwatch Workshop. They were like, okay, y'all want to make new game modes? Do it yourself. Now, only if we could make our own patches of the game that people could play on as well. People still do play Overwatch and take it very seriously, and I still do have lots of fun with the game. But at the end of the day, I'm always going to think about, remember this. Remember that, and I know it's not good to focus on nostalgia, but the game was legitimately better then, you just can't deny it. If you're someone who's trying to get into Overwatch, you'll be so confused trying to learn how every single character's abilities interact with one another, and just learning like, oh, why can this person heal by doing damage, but this person can't? And oh, why does this person have an actually useful passive, and like, why does this person's passive not do anything, and why does this person just not have a passive? It gets to a point when you have to question, okay, there's like a million characters in this game, and they all have a million abilities, and they all like work in a million different ways, but at the end of the day, is the general gameplay understandable, and is it fun? I think it's fun, but comprehensible to a point where the game makes sense and doesn't make you question like why certain characters are even picked or things like that. No. Blizzard has this amazing world and characters, yet we only see 6 of them played in a competitive match. Patch after patch for Overwatch just felt like a punch in the face.
Oh, you like how strong Ana was? You like triple tank? Alright, well that's God now. Here's a supercharged Bastion that never dies. Let's give Diva micro missiles along with the rest of her kit, but make her less defensive. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, let's make Roadhog unusable. Okay. Let's change Torbjorn Symmetra completely. Also, let's give Mercy a new kit that people will think is underpowered, but is actually more overpowered than she was before. Let's add Moira, a character that literally takes no skill to play outside of being able to hold down buttons. And then, of course, let's add Brigitte. Oh my gosh, that sounds like a wonderful idea. Oh, actually, you know what? You know how, like, people didn't like triple tank? What if we made every single character have some sort of barrier or defensive ability? What if it was just all shields all the time? And, you know, because, you know, like, well, you think about it, you just have shields up, you can't take damage, you'll be invincible forever. That sounds fun, right? Does that sound fun?
Anytime the game was in a good state, we would have to have another change because, well,
that's easier than making actual content. They'll nerf a character into the ground or buff someone over the moon, we'll wait a few months, and then suddenly those characters' positions have been flip-flopped once again, and then there's a new king on top of the meta, and we have to all bow down to them and play that one character until they get nerfed, and you just have to deal with it. Blizzard buffed a lot of characters that were very easy to play, and the intentions that it would make the game more accessible for people who aren't really savvy to competitive games, since there are a lot of casuals playing Overwatch that just play things like quick play and other game modes. They pandered to these people so hard in hopes that they would like the game more, and it worked. A lot of them did like it more. But of course, as the player base numbers started to dwindle, that didn't really matter to them. A lot of people only play popular games and defend them and like them because it makes them feel like they're included and makes them feel popular. And these people are usually what we like to call casual players. So when games like Fortnite and Overwatch start to lose their player base and they see the brand new shiny game come out, that's immediately what they're going to latch on to because it's more popular than what they're interested in. A lot of these changes were made to both of these games to try to appeal to people who don't really care about the competitive aspect about these games at all, which is the thing that made them so popular to begin with. So yeah, they lost pretty much like half of their core audience over the years. Fortnite and Overwatch are still doing well. Fortnite's still definitely doing better than Overwatch, but that's mainly because, you know, it's a gold mine when you got all these children with their parents' credit cards running around. Overwatch is definitely in a worse place right now, but there are still tons of people who are loyal and devoted to it and will play it and not much else. But at the end of the day, when you ask someone about these games and ask if they used to play them, it just won't really resonate the same anymore. These games do not carry the respect they once used to at all. Let me know your opinions down in the comments. Have I got this all wrong, or have I got this all right? I would love to hear what you guys think, because there were so many things that were done to both of these games that just completely destroyed them in the eyes of fans, and I would love to know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I've been Big Citrus, and I'm gonna go take a nap. Have a damn good one.